Pretenders, haves, have-nots. I figured out every NFL team in 10 weeks, except the Pittsburgh Steelers. They hammer the Patriots, they hammer the Colts, and get beat by the Bengals, and have now been hammered by Green Bay, the Chargers, and Seattle. Week to week, I have no idea what I'm getting. None. I know Aaron looked old and like he didn't want to get hit last night, but some of it is I don't blame him. Roman Wilson and DK Metcalf is not a receiving core. That's why I've defended Aaron throwing to the tight ends all year long, because that's what they have. I mean, one of their tight ends, I think he's going to get converted to a tackle, but he can catch enough so they can throw it to him. That's what they have. They have a running back they drafted, Roman Wilson. By the way, Jim Harbaugh, Roman Wilson, J.J. McCarthy, Blake Corum. We thought they were stars in college. No, the coach was. But I mean, to me, it's a bad sign as a franchise. You have no idea what you're getting half to half and week to week. No idea. They're the only team in the league to me that's completely unsolvable. And here's all I can come up with. They're the second oldest team in the NFL, and they're aging like milk, not wine. And as the season goes on, they look old. Second half, they look tired. Seattle is young. Every week, Seattle looks fast and physical. They're growing. They're ascending. Pittsburgh looks old and tired.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack here. First off, the defense actually played great against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. They continue to pressure him, sack him like crazy, make his life really hard, quite frankly. If you still want to say they look tired, the offense could not convert a third down. They could not get first downs. But the Steelers, especially in that first half, held the Chargers to essentially nothing. Now, Justin Herbert ended up making some great plays because he is Justin Herbert. And he made some unbelievable, just Collinsworth was just laughing and losing his breath at some of the plays. And it took elite special plays from Justin Herbert and that offense to be able to even get the amount of points that they did. And that is with a team that was going to be exhausted and tired because, again, the Steelers could not do anything offensively. I mean, the defense was nearly on the field for 40 minutes. It's going to exhaust anyone. Of course it is. The offense, that was the key issue this time around, obviously, no doubt. Aaron Rodgers did not have a great game. This was not a great game for him. Some of it was caused from some of the pressure, and how quickly they got to Aaron, without a doubt. But then also there's plenty of times that nobody was open. And again, I think Collinsworth did a great job kind of breaking this down, that DK Metcalf, he gets taken out of these games so easily. I mean, it's just so easily does he get removed from these games. And then it's like, where can Aaron go with the ball at this point? I mean, who's his go-to guy that he can just rely on? Who's Aaron's safety net? And everyone needs a safety net. Every single quarterback needs someone that they know, all right, I can get the ball to him. Every throw to DK is just this. They're not 50-50 balls. They're like 70-30 balls. It's just, we just got to try to get him the ball any way we can. And it becomes really hard. And they ran the ball really well. Jaylen Warren, 14 carries for 70 yards, 5 yards per carry. And it wasn't like it was really based off of just like a big bulk chunk play. I think Jaylen Warren played really well and was really fighting for those yards. Really nothing came easy. He also had 2 catches for 21. And so I really liked that. But listen, this Chargers defense is a good team, especially when they're healthy. Aaron, again, definitely was not the best version of himself. That goes without saying. The defense actually did play well, but they could only do so much at that point, especially with the offense not doing much. But it's actually kind of perfect because you can see what the Chargers did in this game. And it was essentially what the Steelers were unable to do because they both had very similar games for 85% of the game. But the Chargers, for instance, their running back, they relied on the run game a lot more. 25 carries, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Their quarterback was able to get a pretty big chunk play for 15 yards that really helped set up a drive for them. Aaron Rodgers is obviously not going to do that at this point. Their receivers not doing a whole lot, but Ladd McConkey was able to break off for a 58-yarder, 4 catches for 107 yards, right? Compare that to the Steelers, 14 carries, 70 yards. That's it. And these receivers, no one was able to really get that breakout play. No one was able to get that real game-changing play in a way that the Chargers were able to do. Then you have a bunch of turnovers. You have some interceptions, muff punts, and and you're done. And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. So in another weird way, I feel similar to how the Steelers looked after the Packers game, where it was just kind of like, man, if it really wasn't, if you were able to just to connect on this one play and I'll fill on that other play on the defensive side of the ball, was a little bit more disrupted, like the game changes. But like they were for the most part in this game in a weird, ugly, physical game. But the Steelers just don't, at least offensively, they lack the safety net, and they either lack the intent or the ability to just say, we're just going to have to grind this out offensively. We're just going to have to bully our way through, keep grinding. And the Chargers did that. And Collinsworth also pointed that out and talked about Greg Roman's patience and said that's why they just kept with the run. And then it sets up the passing game in a way for some of these other big chunk-oriented plays. Yeah, it's just, this was definitely one of those grind them out games, and the Steelers offense just was incapable of doing that or unwilling to do that. And the defense, again, I think they held their own to the best they could. And I think it was actually a great defensive game. It really was. If it really just that one big chunk play by Ladd McConkey for that 58-yarder, which again was an amazing throw and an amazing catch and play. Outside of that, not so much so. And that's what to me made it such an impressive win for the Chargers, because of what they had to do to come away with the win. And I know the score itself is 25-10, kind of lopsided, and really just 3 points for the Steelers mainly. That's really what the bulk of what they had, honestly, for the pretty much the entire game. And yeah, it's a tough one. I think if Aaron's a little bit more accurate, that game changes significantly. And it just was one of those games where he wasn't very accurate, and the offense couldn't get going. There was no other safety net to rely on, no other go-to gotta have it moment that you could rely on. I don't think they worked Jalen Warren enough. And then that's kind of the position that you're in, and you combine that with 2 interceptions, and it's just, you're gonna lose. There's just no other way to look at it or sugarcoat it at that point. So still things to figure out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I don't think our Steelers on the verge of total collapse, as Colin's putting it, is necessarily the right answer either. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do you think they're on the verge of total collapse? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.